The Los Angeles Kings are proud to select with the second pick in the 2020 entry draft from Sudbury Wolves of the Ontario Hockey League, Quinton Byfield.
What a wonderful celebration for Quinton Byfield and his family.
To make the third selection in the 2020 NHL Draft, the Senators have enlisted the services of a special guest who also happens to be a graduate of the University of Ottawa.
Here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Jeopardy! Our category today is the NHL, and here is the clue for you. With the third pick in the 2020 NHL Draft, the Ottawa Senators choose this player. The correct response, who is Tim Stützle?
That was fantastic and completely unexpected. Alex Trebek with the pick for the Ottawa Senators. If you're expecting Pierre Dorion, sorry, Alex Trebek announcing Tim Stützle's name. He goes third overall.
With the fourth pick in the 2020 entry draft, the Detroit Red Wings are very excited to select from Frölunda, Lucas Raymond.
Les Sénateurs d'Ottawa sont très fiers de choisir. The Ottawa Senators are real proud to select from the United States National Team Development Program and the University of North Dakota, Jake Sanderson.
With the sixth pick in the 2020 draft, the Anaheim Ducks are proud to select from the Erie Otters, Jamie Drysdale.
The New Jersey Devils are proud to select from Djurgården right winger Alexander Holtz.
The Buffalo Sabres are proud to announce from the Ottawa 67s and the Ontario Hockey League, Jack Quinn.
Now I'm proud to select with the ninth pick in the 2020 draft from the Ottawa 67s of the OHL, Marco Rossi.
I would like to invite Crystal Hawerchuk, wife of Dale Hawerchuk, the greatest number 10 in Winnipeg Jets history, to make our selection. Crystal?
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. But first, our family would like to thank the Winnipeg Jets and all of Dale's loyal fans and friends for their love and support through his very tough fight of stomach cancer. He was a great hockey player and a very special man. I want you to know that he loved Winnipeg and always felt a special connection to the people of Manitoba. We both consider Winnipeg our home. Your love and support meant so much to him. Thank you. Now I am thrilled to announce with the 10th selection in the 2020 NHL Draft, the Winnipeg Jets select from Saginaw Spirit, Cole.
What a beautiful moment. Crystal Hawerchuk, the wife of the late Dale Hawerchuk, making the selection.
With the 11th pick in the 2020 NHL Draft, Nashville Predators are proud to select from St. Petersburg, Yaroslav Askarov.
The Panthers would like to select from IFK Helsinki, centerman Anton Lundell.
Carolina Hurricanes are proud to select from the Portland Winterhawks, Seth Jarvis.
The Edmonton Oilers are proud to select with the 14th pick, Dylan Holloway, University of Wisconsin.
Welcome to episode 23 of Pucks and Deep, sponsored by Pucks and Deep. Pucks and Deep, we give you surface level takes with no real insight, and that's how we like it, so deal with it.
Wow. I think that's, selling us a little short, don't you think?
Who are you calling short?
Well, I mean, you are shorter than me, so you.
I'm one of the tallest ones in my family, Alex.
Congratulations. That doesn't mean you're not short.
I'm tall for a Filipino.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about Jews on this podcast, too, so I'm very excited.
Okay, wow.
You know,
Racist. You're just starting it off real racist already. Calling me short?
It's not racist. It's fact. That's what a racist would say. How you been? I see you're wearing this hat again. You really like this hat.
No, this is a different one.
I'm sorry, that's a different vintage
Yeah,
Sharks hat?
Yes, this one is made out of denim, and it has a teal nubuck brim.
And the other one was made out of...
Canvas?
Isn't denim a type of canvas? I legitimately don't know.
It's not black denim like this one is.
Okay.
This is a different hat.
All right, Mark. Okay. Making up hats now. All right.
I can grab the other hat if you would like me to.
It's really okay.
You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
All right.
I'm going to grab the other hat.
Fine. All
Just
right.
to show you're wrong.
This is not the first time I've been told I'm wrong, so I don't really know the point of doing that, but you do you, bro. Now that we have what? Okay, let's see these hats. They do look different. Okay.
What did I say?
You were right. I was wrong. I admit it when I'm wrong.
That's not true at all.
When have I not admitted I was wrong, Mark?
You don't admit you're wrong a lot.
When I'm not wrong, I don't admit it.
Because you are always wrong.
All right. So we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. It's all intertwined because it was drafts, re-signing, buyouts, then signings. There's a bunch of different ways to discuss this. I'm not entirely sure the best way to discuss it, to start discussing it. There's two pieces of I want to say random news, but kind of like different news, which we should probably discuss first.
Okay.
The first one is that McDavid tested positive for COVID, which sucks.
Yes.
I hope he makes a full recovery.
He'll be okay.
I hope
Hopefully it doesn't affect his lungs and he still can skate.
I think he'll be okay, but I hope he is. Also, you wanted to remind me that the HDA officially is separating from the NHL. So the HDA is the Hockey Diversity Alliance. Would you like to talk about that further?
No, I don't really know too much about it. All I know is that they were pretty much saying that the NHL wasn't playing ball with them, so they decided to kind of just do their own thing.
We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago that they had submitted this 8 or 10 point plan, which was really, I don't want to say far-fetched, but they asked a lot. They had to cut all ties with sponsors that don't do anything other than a performative response to social issues, and that was never going to fly. And I remember saying that, I understand that you want to start, high or want to start with the ball in your court on a negotiation, but I thought that was a little intense.
Yeah.
And it apparently was too intense, and the NHL said basically, no, we don't want to deal with this. So the HDA wrote a very scathing response and posted it publicly, basically saying the NHL is content with doing performative, useless acts and don't actually want to make any change, which is probably not wrong. So, it's probably better if they're separate anyways. You don't want the watchdog organization to be part of the organization. So,
yeah, I understand that. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I think the
that
downside is the lack of funding.
They couldn't come to at least some kind of mutual agreement.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we should talk about the retirements. There's only a couple of those, and then the buyouts, and then the draft, and then the signings, and then the Sharks, in that order. Okay?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff. All right, so there were only 2 real retirements, I think, unless I missed one, which was Matt Niskanen decided to retire from the Philadelphia Flyers at age 32 or something. 33.
Yeah, real random.
And he had $5 million that he just left on the table, and he's like, nah, I want to go, fish in Minnesota or something. I don't understand this. I don't understand why anyone would ever do that. I understand if you don't want to play hockey again, but then can't you just say you're injured? Like, I don't know.
I mean, maybe it wasn't about the money for him, and
but it's $5 million.
The money, that money wasn't about it for him. But for some people, it's just an actual job. Like they did it because they were good, and they just rode that to riches. And he was probably one of those people. He's like, hey, I won a cup. I don't really give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, I get that. Then you request a trade to Ottawa, and you say, I'm not going to report to your team. Trade me to Ottawa and get something for my return, because Ottawa clearly has no interest in actually playing NHL players. It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever.
I mean,
good for him.
Maybe he was just over it.
If that's what he wanted to do. The other one was Justin Williams, who retired at age 39 after winning 3 Stanley Cups and not being sure if he wanted to play last season. So good for him. Long career.
Great career.
Mr. Game 7 is done.
He can't hurt the Sharks anymore.
Okay, let's talk about the buyouts. I don't think I missed any. The first one is a couple of them are really funny, to be honest.
Okay.
Jack Johnson is probably the funniest. He gets bought out by the Penguins after they defended him vehemently, saying how good of a defenseman he was, after they traded for him for absolutely no reason. You want to say something?
Well, yeah. Just to be fair, Jack Johnson has been screwed royally by his parents.
Sure.
For a very long time.
I'm talking about him as a hockey
Hold
player.
on. I know. Hold on. We're not done. And apparently him and Sidney Crosby are really, really good friends.
They were BFFs at Shattuck St. Mary's in high school.
Yes, they played juniors together, right?
High school.
Yeah, in high school, and they went to high school together. And honestly, I think Sidney, and this is like a rumor that I've seen, is that Sidney just asked to give him money.
So why did they,
as a favor,
re-sign him to such? That's what Sidney Crosby said. Hey, give him a big contract. And
I don't know if he said give him a big contract, but I'm pretty sure he said, hey, like, give him a contract, like at least get him some money.
Sure. I mean, I guess it's possible. And you can't run an NHL team like that, but whatever. I think it's funny they just defended him so vehemently and then proceeded to buy him out like a month later.
He got bought out, and then he signed with the New York Rangers for $1 million,
which we will get to. Okay.
Good old JMFJ.
Yeah. Very off-topic post, or very off-topic comment about the NBA championship trophy. The NBA just presented their championship trophy. It was presented by a Louis Vuitton. It was presented in a Louis Vuitton case. NHL needs to step up their game and get the Stanley Cup some Gucci. No, I disagree. I think the Stanley Cup is amazing, and I love it, and it's great, and they need to do nothing different. That is my personal opinion. Okay. Carl Alzner gets bought out, which is not nothing to talk about there. Yep. The Canadiens were trying to vary his contract. Justin Abdelkader gets bought out from the Red Wings. And then a couple of Maple Leafs pundits, specifically Damian Cox, said that is the exact type of player the Maple Leafs need to sign. And I saw some guy respond to him being like, he just got bought out by the worst team in the league by a huge, huge margin. He is a terrible player. So Justin Abdelkader appears to be very hurt and can't play hockey anymore.
Didn't he have like 3 points in like 41 games or something?
It was real bad.
This year.
It was real bad.
He's not good anymore.
Kyle Turris gets bought out by the Predators. They were part of that Matt Duchene trade where they ended up not getting Matt Duchene, although they ended up signing Matt Duchene. So it's this weird Matt Duchene Kyle Turris trade tree, and then they end up buying out Kyle Turris, and that did not work.
This is a shame because he was good on the Senators. He was good on the Coyotes.
He was good for a while. I don't think he ever played on the Coyotes.
He was drafted by the Coyotes,
and then I think he held out.
No. He played for the Coyotes, and then he held out during RFA, I think. And they got traded.
Hold, please.
Okay.
You are correct. I am wrong. He played 1 and a little bit of seasons on the Coyotes and got 25 points in 70 games.
Yep.
Not that great. But then played a bunch in the Senators. And he's got 400 points in over 700 games with the Senators. So,
yeah.
Something weird happened there. I don't know what's going on there. But
he just did not play well in that system. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Well, he has a new role. We'll get to that in a second.
Yep.
Alex Wenberg got bought out by the Blue Jackets, which seemed very weird.
Super surprising.
He didn't seem like he was doing bad, so the thought was
apparently. Sorry.
I thought they were clearing cap space for somebody, which they didn't get.
So there's two things on both of those subjects. Apparently, Alexander Wernberg hasn't been the same since the Tom Wilson hit in the playoffs. I think a year or two ago.
What a good guy, that Tom Wilson.
I know, one of your favorites.
Yeah.
So a lot of Blue Jackets fans have been saying that he really hasn't been playing the same. They still liked him, but it was a shame that he got bought out of that contract. Who's the GM of the
Jarmo Kekalainen?
Kekalainen, that's right. I couldn't say it, so I was waiting for you to say it.
Well played.
So Jarmo, apparently they said they did try for Taylor Hall and the other big name,
Alex Pietrangelo, Torrey
yes,
Krug?
Pietrangelo. But he said that it didn't really work out, but he was also trying to clear cap space just in case there was an offer sheet for Pierre-Luc Dubois. So
which is still
now they just have a shit ton of cap space for no reason.
Blue Jackets are definitely my loser this last week.
What do you mean? They signed Mikko Koivu for a 1-year contract.
We will get to that, sir.
Okay.
And then Corey Schneider got bought out by the Devils because he has not been the same, has been hurt, and he's hot and cold, and they have a new goalie, Mackenzie Blackwood, who they like, and then they also signed someone new, which we will get to in a second.
So I would like to comment on this because Corey Schneider.
Oh, yes, you're a close
a great
friend.
Guy.
Close
a great
personal
guy.
friend, right?
Super nice, but also I think it was in like the 3 or 4 years before his injury on the Devils, he was a top 3 goalie in the league in terms of save percentage and goals against average. And it's a really, really big shame that injuries kind of derailed his career, because I feel like he would have been a good goalie in the league for a very long time.
Seems like a good dude too.
Yeah, he was.
Well, he was. I hope he still is.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot of trades as well. The vast majority of these are cap trades. Not all of them are, and we will get to the Sharks ones at the end, I think.
Okay.
All right. The first one, which was kind of weird, was Max Domi, who was an RFA, unsigned, got traded to Columbus for Josh Anderson, who was unsigned. It was also a 3rd-round pick in with Domi. And then they both re-signed with their teams before they play a single game, but they were RFAs, so they had to be re-signed in order to play. Domi got a 2-year, $5.3 million AAV, and Anderson on the Canadiens got a 7-year, $5.5 million AAV. I really like Josh Anderson, but he did not put up the numbers last year that Max Domi did, so I don't understand how he could be worth more than Domi, because they had to throw in a 3rd-round pick and then sign for a higher AAV. He's just big, therefore the Canadiens are like, oh, we like this guy, and fuck Max Domi. It didn't make sense. The trade makes sense, but the signing doesn't make sense.
I feel like the change of scenery will be good. It's just Josh Anderson, I feel like he has that reputation of a potential player. Like, his potential is...
You mean like Max Domi does?
Yeah, but Max Domi has at least been scoring 50 points a year consistently.
Sure.
But Josh Anderson, it's like, oh, he's the power forward, like prototypical, like he has so much potential, and I feel like he hasn't really reached that ceiling. So it was kind of mind-boggling for them to sign someone to the longest contract they've signed someone to since Carey Price, I think, which is kind of nuts
These people,
for someone who they literally just traded for, and they haven't seen him play in their system or on their team yet.
Like, I understand that you want to lock someone in if you think they're going to be really good. Like, I get that. Like, if you think he's an $8 million player, but he's never played a game for you yet, so you sign him for a 7-year, $5 million deal, and you get a steal for the next 5 years, like, I get that. But what about the flip side, where he's a $2 million player, and now you have him on the cap for 7 years at $5 million? Like, this is why bridge deals exist. That's why Max Domi signed a 2-year deal. Also, I'm really looking forward to Max Domi playing under John Tortorella, being told to block shots and play defense. And there's no question it's not going to work out. And this is already Max Domi's 3rd team. There's no way that can work. I'm sorry. Like, I hope I'm wrong, but there's absolutely no way that it will work. I guess the only way that it'll work is John Tortorella is going to be like, yeah, people that fight. Max Domi's like, I'll fight someone. Then didn't he break his hand fighting someone or something like that?
Probably.
I don't get it. All right. Matt Murray gets traded from the Penguins to the Senators for a prospect and a 52nd overall pick in this year's draft. And
Hold on. Matt Murray's RFA rights.
Yes, thank you.
Traded.
Thank you.
So he wasn't even signed to the Penguins.
Right.
Yet.
And they somehow get a prospect and a late 2nd round pick for him.
What the fuck is I can't even remember his name.
I don't know which one you're going for.
Pierre Dorian.
Okay, I wasn't
What
sure.
the fuck is he thinking about?
Okay, so the Senators are weird because they need to hit the cap floor.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, let's get it. We need a goalie because they said they wouldn't sign Craig Anderson again.
Yeah.
So they signed Matt Murray to a 4-year, $6.25 million contract.
6.25 a year.
A year,
Alex.
yes.
Yes.
Well, yes.
4-year, $30 million. But it's 6.25.
We talked about this before. I don't see the point in listing the whole number. I see the point in listing the AAV. So I'm going to list only the AAV because that's the only thing that matters.
Well, it's a 4-year, $30 million contract with a 6.25 AAV.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's insane. It's crazy. He's not good anymore. He hasn't been good for 2 years. He's constantly hurt. The only reason to sign him is because he will bring them up to the cap floor.
And he lost his spot to a rookie, Tristan Jarry.
I don't get it. It's dumb. Good for Matt
and
Murray.
why give up a prospect and a pick for RFA rights? I don't know what Pierre Dorian is doing. And there were so many other goalies. There's so many other goalies that they could have got and gotten to the cap floor with.
Yeah.
They fucking could have given Hank like a $5 million contract.
But Hank wouldn't want to go there. That's the difference.
I guess true.
Is it was a trade, not a signing. And
You're right.
Matt Murray didn't want to go to arbitration, I assume. And Matt Murray, when given a $6 million offer for 4 years, says yes, please. And he will proceed to get hurt, and that team will proceed to tank, which I guess is what Pierre Dorian wants. So I guess it's a win for Pierre Dorian and the Sens because they hit the cap floor, or this is going to help them hit the cap floor, and they're going to continue to do bad. So it's a win. It's crazy. All right, Nick Bonino. And the 37th overall pick and the 70th pick, so a second and a third round pick to the Wild for Luke Cunnin and the 101st pick this year. I don't know what the fuck the Wild are doing. I've said it before with the Eric Staal trade. I think they're just trying to trade people for the sake of trading people, which is insane. But we'll get to that in a second when we talk about this. Actually, let's talk about that now.
I mean, hold on. Well, maybe they're trying to go more defensive. I mean,
Nick Bonino's like 97 years old.
Yeah, but
Luke Cunnin was good.
I guess.
I
don't know.
It's weird.
Whatever. It's the Wild.
It doesn't make sense to me. Okay. No, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about the Sharks trades later. Because okay, Elias Anderson, who is a prospect for the Rangers.
Maple Leafs. Oh.
Rangers.
Right.
He was like a...
Sorry, wrong Anderson I was thinking of. Sorry.
Not Frederick Anderson. Elias Anderson.
Yes.
Was a 7th... I think he was a 17... Or no, the 7th?
7th overall.
7th overall pick in 2017. has not panned out so far. Basically said, I'm not playing for the Rangers again. I don't know why. We could probably look it up, but he's basically said, I'm done with the Rangers. At some point last season, he's projected to be a potential #1 center. So something weird happened there. He gets traded to the Kings for the 60th overall pick, and then the Rangers draft some kid named William Cooley, who apparently loves Star Wars. Did you see this?
No.
Okay, I was watching draft round 2 at work, and all of a sudden they start talking about Star Wars with this kid, and he says that Revenge of the Sith is his favorite Star Wars movie, and then which is awful take, and then EJ Radic.
No, it's not. It's a great take.
I'm sorry.
The
What?
prequels are fantastic.
What?
Do you not go on prequel memes on Reddit?
That has nothing to do with them being good movies.
It makes them great movies.
Because people can make fun of them easily, therefore they're great movies?
Yeah.
All right.
Trust me, it makes it so much better. And if you watch Clone Wars and Rebels,
I have not watched Clone Wars. Okay.
Well,
So then-
you can't say anything, so shut your
Then-
nerd mouth.
EJ Radic asks William Cooley, what is the hardest question anyone has ever asked him about Star Wars? And William Cooley says, who is Anakin Skywalker's father? And then he goes and talks about the Virgin Mary and how midichlorians impregnated Anakin's mom. And it was on NHL Network, and it was really weird. And this is who they got for Elias Anderson. So they took the 17th overall pick and turned it to the 60th overall pick, who talked about the Virgin Mary. It was weird.
He's right though.
No. All right, I'm moving on from this. This is awful.
Well, apparently, so it's Darth Plagueis the Wise can manipulate midichlorians.
Oh, I know that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Revenge of the Sith.
No, but he
Yeah, it was just weird to talk about that.
manipulated the midichlorians to
It was just weird to talk about that.
impregnate.
I had no idea you were that much of a Star Wars nerd.
It was quarantine that got me really into it.
Okay, fair enough. Eric Branson gets traded to the Senators for a 5th round pick. I believe Eric Branson was traded because his cap hit is larger than the actual money owed. Therefore,
$5 million, right? His cap hit?
$4 million, and he's getting paid $3 million, I believe. So therefore, he's a perfect fit for the Senators because
That's the Melnick special.
It's unbelievable. Like, I don't know what the fuck this team is doing. I mean, I do know what the fuck they're doing. It's just insane. Just fucking sell the team already. All right. Speaking of cap dumps, Ryan Murray, who's a decent number 3 or number 4 defenseman from the Blue Jackets, gets traded to the Devils for a prospect and a 5th round pick in next year's draft. What the fuck?
He's always injured.
So he's good
played
when he
like-
No.
He played like 20 games last season.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think he's played over 60 games since he's gotten drafted.
I don't know about that. He's 27. He has played over 60 games 1, 2, 3 times. It's not that many. All right.
No, but it's not that many.
Fair enough. All right.
He is always injured.
Well, then he's perfect for the Devils.
And the Devils have a terrible left side D core. Will Butcher was their number 1 D.
Hey, Will Butcher was good that one year.
After they didn't qualify Miracle Mueller, former Sharks
MVP.
1st round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Paul Stastny gets dumped to the Jets. Sorry, Paul Stastny and a 2022, so not this year, but the next year. Weird. 4th round pick and a prospect to the Jets. So and it's Paul Stastny's entire cap hit, $6-something million.
Oh, 6.
Yeah, it could be 5-something. A lot.
Well, it's because Vegas is trying to sign Peter Angelo, but I think the funny thing about it is that Stastny was already on the Jets. If the listeners remember, he was traded.
He was traded from
to
the Blues.
Jets. Yeah, to the Jets as a deadline acquisition, and then he left for free agency and signed with the Golden Knights. He essentially didn't want to play in Winnipeg, I think, because they really wanted him back.
Or
He
Winnipeg offered him less money than
Laine had a career year with
Yeah, and so did Ehlers.
playing with Paul Stastny. Yeah. So it's just kind of funny that he ends up like Cheveldayoff just got his man again. He just wanted him back. So welcome back to Winnipeg.
If you know something works, do it, I guess. Okay. Those are all the signings that I have, or sorry, all the trades that I have, except for the Sharks ones. So let's talk about the Sharks ones.
Okay.
So it was two separate transactions which happened on the same day, which was exceptionally strange, but whatever. It was a 2021 third for Ryan Donato. Ryan Donato is a 24-year-old? Younger than that, maybe? How old is Ryan Donato? 24-year-old. Left winger, who also played some center. He was drafted by the Bruins, and then he got traded from the Bruins to the Wild as part of the
Charlie Coyle
deal. Yes, another Sharks former pick. In 62 games for the Wild last year, he had 23 points. He had 16 points in 22 games after he got traded to the Wild. He has a $1.5 million cap hit. He seems like a freaking great player. I don't understand why the hell they would do this.
It's a great pickup for the Sharks.
What the
honestly.
fuck is wrong with the Wild? Like, I'm happy for the Sharks. Good for them. What the hell is wrong with the Wild? It doesn't make any sense.
From what I've read, I think he has some attitude. Either it's attitude issues or he's just terrible in his own zone. There's just like a mix of things, and people saying that it's his third team in like 3 years or whatever has been like raising some flags.
I've heard the exact opposite about his attitude, for the record.
Oh, well, that's good.
No, I don't know about his defensive zone play, but it doesn't matter. He's a forward, like he's a scorer.
Yeah, and apparently he has an amazing shot. It's like he seems perfect for our third line right now. Get him on Jumbo's wing if we re-sign Jumbo, and I think, I mean, it was a great pickup.
It's unbelievable. I don't understand.
For the cap hit and for the type of player that he is, it's pretty much exactly what the Sharks need.
It does not make sense from the Wild's perspective. Once again, it's trading someone for the sake of trading someone, and good on Doug Wilson for taking advantage of that. Okay. Then on the same day, the Sharks traded a 2022 fifth-round pick for the Wild starting goalie Devan Dubnyk and a seventh-round pick in 2022. So let's just say it was a sixth-round pick for Devan Dubnyk, and the Wild retained 50% of his salary.
Amazing.
I don't understand. What the hell is wrong with Bill Guerin?
Amazing.
So he's not like this top-end goalie. I get that. If he's done and he's hurt or he'll never play again, and the reason he was so bad last year was not just because he had a bunch of personal issues, but it's because he's actually cooked, fine. He's a backup for $2 million, which the Sharks paid a sixth-round pick, not next year, but the year after for $2 million, which is the price, which is less than Aaron Dell.
Yeah, $1 million.
I don't understand.
$100,000 less.
So unless the Sharks fans are upset because he's not Jacob Markstrom or Connor Hellebuck or someone, then fine.
There are some Sharks fans upset.
It doesn't make sense to me. Don't be upset
for how bad he's been. Apparently he's been downward trending for a couple of years, but honestly, I still think it's a great trade. Apparently Wilson consulted with Nabby before he made the trade, and Nabby totally signed off on him and said that he would be a great acquisition, and he has some things that he can work with him for. And there's apparently like a goalie whisperer that the Sharks have on retainer.
Which was not working with Jones last year, but he is working with Jones now, and he was working with Dell.
He was already working with Dubnyk.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, it's a low risk, high reward.
Exactly.
Pickup.
I don't get it. The Sharks don't have the cap space. They don't have the cap space to sign someone bigger. So you may as well give up nothing, a sixth-round pick in 2 years, save money by not having to sign a free agent goalie, get someone that already fits in your system, and could potentially do really well.
And he's on a one-year contract.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. So if it doesn't work out,
it's crazy.
Just trying to mention, we have a goalie prospect in the pipes right now in the Barracuda.
It's a great pickup. It makes a lot of sense. They didn't have cap space to do anything else. Good on Doug Wilson.
And I think they have to be like the tallest tandem in the NHL right now.
I don't know
Because
about that.
isn't Dubnyk like
Dubnyk
6'5"
is
and Jones?
6'6".
Yeah, and Jones is 6'4".
Yes, they're tall.
They're tall.
I don't think they're the tallest, but I'd have to look that up. Dubnyk is 34. He was drafted 14th overall by the Oilers. He got run out of town in Edmonton, then got traded to the Predators, then kind of rediscovered his game in Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
I don't know why I remember this, but I definitely remember this. He went and did some training, some specialized. Ooh, that's weird. Keith says, "Fuck Jack Johnson," and then Mark has a size fetish. All right.
A size fetish?
Yeah, I think because you think they're big.
Oh.
Yeah. Keith, in
Yeah, I'm a
case you
size
didn't
queen.
realize, when goalies go down on the butterfly, their legs, if they're wider, they can block more of the net. Being big helps. I'm not saying it's the end-all be-all, but it helps. All right. So Devin Dubnyk went and did this like specialized sports training called, I believe it's called head tracking, where they concentrate on following the puck with your head or something like that, and it like completely turned around his game. He was the third goalie in Arizona, and then got traded to the Wild, turned around the Wild season, and then hasn't been doing great recently. Yeah, so he hasn't been doing great the last couple years. His save percentage was under 900 last season, was above 900 every season before that, until you get to Edmonton, where it was bad. But he has the potential to be a good goalie again.
He does.
And it's a low risk, high reward. You have Martin Jones, which is untradeable, which he could be doing really well. So I don't know who's the backup at this point. I don't know who's the starter. You play them both, you see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get to the
And then
rest
you
of
just hope that Melnichuk,
something like that, is good. Yeah.
our prospect,
We'll get
our
to
goalie
the
prospect.
We'll get to more of the Sharks later. Let's talk about the draft. Okay.
I don't want to. It's boring.
Well, I'm going to talk about a couple things of the draft.
I wanted chaos, Alex. There was no chaos.
There was not a single player traded at the draft in the first round. It was lame. A couple of interesting things happened. The first thing which you have to mention is Alexis Lafreniere got traded to the Rangers instead of the Rangers trading him, which is stupid. I understand if he's really good, but they should have traded him. They have too many wingers now. Congratulations, Keith. Apparently the Rangers got a really good player.
What if they end up just trading Chris Kreider?
They can trade Chris Kreider, but Alexis Lafreniere is not better than
Does he have
Artemi Panarin.
NTC?
Chris Kreider, probably. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
But
already on Cap Friendly.
It doesn't matter. He's not better than Artemi Panarin. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
He has an MC.
Okay, it's dumb. It's dumb. Should have traded the pick. Okay, Quentin Byfield got drafted number 2 to the Kings. I actually didn't know that he was black until I saw the draft.
I didn't either, and that's actually
good.
fantastic.
It's great. So he got traded, or he got drafted to the Kings, and he's the highest draft pick, or highest black player ever to be drafted. Evander Kane and Seth Jones were drafted at 4. Apparently, he's a perfect fit on the Kings, and I hope he does great. But
I think he's going to do great,
Sharks.
especially behind Anze Kopitar.
Yeah,
he's gonna. Oh my God, his game is gonna. He's gonna be good.
He looks
and
really. He's 6'4". He's huge. He's apparently
he's
really
gonna.
good.
He's gonna fucking terrorize the Sharks for years. It's gonna suck.
Tim Stützle was the number 3. He got drafted by the Sens. And then the only other interesting things that happened. Oh, I should mention, the 3rd overall pick was probably the second highlight, because the Senators somehow brought on Alex Trebek, and who said in our final Jeopardy question, with the 3rd overall pick in the 2020 draft, the Ottawa Senators will select, and that was like the question, or sorry, the answer, and the question. The answer was, or the question was, Tim Stützle. I really fucked that up. It was cool. You should look it up. It was nice. Keith, the Rangers fan, says Lafreniere will be a great player. Rangers can figure out what to do with their wings later, or they can play Smith and Johnson. Okay, that is a stupid comment. I am going to ignore it.
Wow, that's the dumbest thing I've ever read.
The Predators drafted that goalie, Yaroslav Askarov, at 11. That was kind of the big question mark of the draft. And then Columbus drafted someone at 21 who was ranked anywhere from 90 to 160.
Oh, wow.
And they drafted him at 21 instead of trading down to get him. The U.S. broadcast, it wasn't that funny. They had something prepared for him, which is weird. Pierre Maguire apparently knew a bunch of stuff about him.
Of course, the fucking psychopath.
Yeah. But the Sportsnet broadcast, Sam Constantino, their draft expert, was like, they cut to him, and he's like shuffling through papers. And then he's like, I'm not quite sure who this kid is. I got to look it up. And then they drafted Brian Burke. And Brian Burke, like, yeah, he's a winger. He's Russian. And they cut to Elliot Friedman. Elliot Friedman just laughing. Like, you guys are a fucking disaster. It was really, really, really funny. So I was trying. I went on a bunch of sports sites trying to stream the Sportsnet feed. And I couldn't. So I had to watch the U.S. broadcast. So I had to be bombarded by Pierre Maguire's fucking creepy beard and Craig Button just yelling constantly. It was so weird. I'm not going to say I ran into him, but I was eating lunch at breakfast at some hotel in Toronto like 10 years ago. And Craig Button walked by. He's a little dude. He's real short. And he was just fucking yelling about everything.
He's just like a yell guy.
Yeah, Quentin Byfield, number 2 overall. He's going to do really well, blah, blah, blah. Yell, yell, yell. It was so weird. That dude's a super spreader, if anyone's a super spreader.
Wow.
But yeah, the other thing that happened with the 31st overall pick, the Sharks drafted a guy, my brother, Ozzy Weisblatt, 100% Jewish. I actually did look it up. With a name like Weisblatt, you have to be Jewish.
Yes.
Not only is it a Blatt, but it's a Wise Blatt. His name is Ozzy, O-Z-Z-Y. He has 4 siblings, 2 of which play juniors along with him. They have a single mom who is deaf. His father, who's out of the picture, also deaf.
Was also deaf.
So all 5 of their first language was sign language, which is awesome, and I've never heard that before.
And the 2 deaf parents gave birth to kids. All the kids can hear.
All the kids can hear. Do you know the kids' names? I don't know all of them, but I could probably look it up.
Ocean,
Orca, Oasis. And Oasis is spelled with a Z. O-A-S-I-Z.
Yes.
And then I don't remember the other ones. There's a really, really, really good piece on by Sportsnet, where they like talk about his family and his mother, and it's honestly really, really, really cool.
I see what's
I want to
possible.
get his siblings' names because they're awesome.
Another real cool thing is Doug Wilson Jr. actually signed Ozzy's name when he announced it, which I think was a really cool gesture and kind of showed how much they were scouting this kid.
Do you know what was happening when that was going on? I was so confused. I will admit.
As soon as he did it, I was just like, "Why is he signing?" Like
Okay,
I knew
I did
he was
not know
signing.
he was signing.
I just didn't understand why. And then I didn't know that this meant I love you. So like when they were doing this,
is that
when the
what that
Weisblatt family was doing this to the TV, I was like really confused. I was like, yeah, rock and roll, I guess. But
Hang loose? No, that's
yeah.
different. It's
But
Texas Longhorns, or that's this. I don't know.
it was really cool. I think it was a really cool gesture.
It was really cool. I had no idea what was happening, and then Bob McKenzie explained it. My close personal pizza friend, Bob McKenzie, talked about that last episode.
Oh, God.
Weisblatt seems like a really good prospect. A lot of the pundits were really happy with it. He can maybe be the best Jew in the league behind Jason Zucker.
So
who knows? But yeah, I can't
so
find
let's
their
talk
names,
about
but-
let's talk about the Sharks draft since we're here.
Sure.
I think they did great. It's just crazy that they drafted a ton of players that are 5'10" and under.
No defensemen. All
and
forwards.
no defensemen. Yeah. They've had some really bad history drafting defensemen, and I feel like they're just like, fuck it, we have so many defensemen. under contract forever that will be fine for a while. Like they didn't qualify Jeremy Waugh, and they
Well, he got injured too many times, but yeah.
Yeah, but they traded, I think, 2 second-round picks to move up to get him. It's just crazy. But
okay,
everyone's pretty much saying that the Sharks did really well, and I think they got some.
Aussie, Orca, Oasis, Oceania. Badass. And the mom's name is Kim. Not as badass. All right.
No.
Sorry, I had to. And yeah, apparently Aussie is easy to sign, and so is Orca, and I love it. It's so cool. I don't know very many people in the deaf community, but it's badass. No defenseman's weird, but a bunch of small forwards is the way the NHL is going. So
yeah, small and fast.
That's great.
And playmakers.
Apparently, Aussie tries really hard and is a good player and is physical and has a great hockey sense and a good shot. And I look forward to seeing him at some point in the future when hockey can resume. The weird thing is these kids are playing hockey right now.
Yeah.
And that does not usually happen. This time of year is usually mid to late June, early July. And like we would be like July 6th right now. And they're playing. So like that Chinakhov, who is the Columbus Blue Jackets pick, he scored 5 goals in his first like 10 games. And that's why one of the reasons why the Blue Jackets are probably like, this guy's pretty good. Cause he's playing in the KHL right now. Keith said the only 2 signs I remember are I love you and bullshit. I thought this was I love you. I thought it was Wakanda forever and I love you. I don't know. I know this is bullshit, which is awesome. The bullhorns, yeah. Keith also says he must be really good at flipping the bird. He can hear, and he talks just fine. So I don't think he's any better than flipping the bird. All right. That's the Sharks draft.
Mark Davis says they're building a St. Louis, Dallas type squad. They're fast hit, play two-way hockey, and have decent skill.
St. Louis and Dallas are both huge teams, so that doesn't compute.
They are big, but they do have speed.
They're building and St. Louis is slow, so I do not agree with that. That's fine. All right. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah. A couple other cool things. The Winnipeg Jets had Dale Hawerchuk's widow do their draft. Dale Hawerchuk passed away. He was a Winnipeg Jet legend. That was nice. Roman Josi did the pick for the Predators, which was cool. And then Mitch Marner did the pick for the Maple Leafs, which was awkward because the Maple Leafs apparently were taking too long. And Gary Bettman literally said, do you need an extension or a timeout, I think is what they said. And they're like, no, okay, we're cutting to him. And then Mitch Marner like announces the pick. And then there's Morgan Riley like 10 feet away in the background, like not smiling, holding a jersey, and like turns it around to reveal the kid's name. And then Mitch Marner gives this huge like shit-eating grin, and Morgan Riley looks like he's about to kill himself. It was so weird.
And it was definitely one of the slowest drafts they've like ever done.
It was not as slow as the second round, which apparently went 4.5 hours over what they thought it would take.
Yeah.
4.5 hours long.
Crazy.
Not 4.5 hours long total. 4.5 hours over what they thought they would take.
Yeah.
Mark Davis clarifies saying the modern, smaller version of St. Louis and Dallas, which is completely different. Whatever. Okay. That is the draft. We talked about the buyouts.
So we have about 20 minutes.
All right, let's talk about the signings.
So let's do Shark signings, and then we'll bang out the important signings for the NHL.
Sure. The Shark signings. The most important one is they re-signed Antti-Salmonella for a year. That's the most important signing. Let's be honest.
It is?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know why
that kid keeps signing with us, because he just never gets any playing time.
I actually really like every time he plays. So
hopefully he was in the DeBoer doghouse.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully Bugner will give him a little bit of a.
Keith says, "I love when you bang out." That's weird.
Just horny? He's horny today.
He is. I hope my mom's not watching. Mom, sorry again on the Islanders. Was it a two-way contract for Suomela?
It is. Why isn't this updated? No,
Whatever.
I think it's a one-way.
All right. Well, I hope he gets the fourth line center locked down now that Stanley Cup champion Barclay Goodrow is gone. They also signed Jacob Middleton for a 2-year, 2-way contract. So Jacob Middleton.
They qualified Middleton,
LeBanc, who's the important one, which we'll get to. They didn't qualify Wah. They qualified a bunch of other people like Maloch and
Halabwak,
Heldswax, and a bunch of people's names I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
But yeah, Middleton will probably be the sixth defenseman. And then, of course, they signed LeBanc to a 4-year, 4.72 something. 4.7258 is what I wrote. I don't know if that's right.
4.725.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
It is a lot.
For how shitty he did last season.
Yeah. So that is not ideal. I don't know why they... I mean, I can guess why they signed him to that. Just because it was like a, hey, thanks for doing us a solid last season. Which I didn't think Doug Wilson would do. And if he doesn't perform... And it's a 4-year contract, so they're kind of, locked in for a while. If he doesn't put up 40 points, it's a problem. He scored 15 goals last year. I really like Kevin LeBanc. I think he's great. I don't think this will end up being a bad contract in the future. It's also pretty tradable, and he's young.
There's no clause, no terms on there.
Yeah.
So,
but it is a lot. There's no question.
It's risky, but I still think that even if he does bad, it's still a tradable contract.
Yeah.
But if he becomes a 60-point player, like I think he can become, hopefully he'll actually do some fucking defense next year. It'll be a steal of a contract, honestly.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the projected lines for the Sharks. I don't remember who posted it. If it was like Ross McEwen or Shang or something. By the way, Shang Pang is fucking killing it.
Dude, Shang is, oh my god. He is so good.
Fucking killing it.
It's like, why even fucking follow Kurz anymore?
Oh, I got in an argument with Kevin Kurz. So, Mark, go ahead.
Fuck Kevin Kurz.
I don't even remember what the argument was about. What did he retweeted me?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
He's been a salty bitch the last couple of days.
Kevin Kurz said that the Sharks should blow up their core, basically. And I responded saying, if there's anything that the last 3 Stanley Cup champions have showed us, it's that you shouldn't just blow up your core because you had a couple bad seasons. That being the Lightning, which got swept in the first round, didn't blow up their core, then won the Stanley Cup. The St. Louis Blues, who were last in the league, decided not to do anything except trade their or fire their coach, won the Stanley Cup. And the Capitals, which had perpetual Stanley Cup failures, and then eventually won the Stanley Cup. So let's definitely blow up the core. Makes a lot of sense. Come on. And then he responded saying, did any of those teams finish last in their conference? Which, again, doesn't matter.
Worst fucking pundit in the league.
I don't know. He's supposed to be a reporter, not a pundit, right? So, like, either give your opinion and don't give news, or give news without your opinion. One or the other. You can't do both at the same time. You can say, this is my opinion, then give your opinion, but this is the facts, and then give the facts without tainting your opinion. It's one or the other. And he does it at the exact same time, and it pisses me off. It doesn't make sense.
Pishalka just
gives facts. Like Shang will say, here's the facts, and then in a separate tweet, this is my take on it. And that's great. That's fine. You can't do both. It's really frustrating.
Paying for president.
Sure. Okay. One other thing I want to mention about Ozzy Weisblatt is that the Sharks had their press conference via Zoom, and Carlson, LeBanc, this is before he re-signed, Burns, and Couture all hopped on during in the middle of the media asking questions and welcomed him to the Sharks family, which I didn't see any other team do.
Brett Burns on his toilet, by the way.
Was he on his toilet?
Yeah, he was in the bathroom
What
for
a
sure.
baller. What a fucking baller. It's very cool. It's very cool. So
Yeah, Sharks have been doing some really cool stuff just in terms of just like culture and just organizational things that have been really standing out. That I think have been really great.
So I'm having trouble trying to find the Sharks lines. Protected
We could talk
lines,
about
but-
that later.
All right.
But one more signing that the Sharks did is they re-signed Joel Shellman for $925K.
Great. Fourth liner.
Which is, I think, a great. Not Shellman. I'm sorry, Stefan Mason.
Ah, yes.
For $925.
Also a fourth liner.
Which I think is great.
Yeah,
He was
he
great.
played really well.
He did.
It was weird they didn't sign him right away, but yeah. All right, we can talk about the lines later. Next episode, perhaps. I have no idea when the next episode will be, but we'll see. All right, we have a bajillion signings. This is basically in chronological order, but I'm just stop me if you have any thoughts, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
Jason Spezza signs a minimum contract back to the Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Good.
Good third center signing.
Fourth center,
kind of debunks Thornton going to the Maple Leafs.
Yes. Oh, also, the rumors that Patrick Marleau are going to sign with the Sharks makes me very happy. Again, if Doug Wilson does not sign Patrick Marleau, who's about to become the all-time leader in games played, I will lose my
every
fucking
single
mind.
week.
I will
Every
lose,
week.
Will lose my fucking mind.
Okay.
Sorry, would you rather talk about Keith asking if Brent Burns' beard touched the toilet water?
No. Okay. Just continue, please. We have to bang out a lot of these.
Justin Braun, who is now the #1 left side D on the Philadelphia Flyers, because Matt Niskanen
Isn't he
is
a
gone.
right side D?
No, he is a right side D.
right-handed.
The
And
#1 right
Niskanen
sided
is
D.
also right-handed.
The #1 right sided D. I got the I don't know that. Justin Braun signed for 2 years, 1.8 million AAV. Sharks
Love me some
legend
Bronner.
Brendan Dillon re-signs with the Capitals. Sad. 4 years, $3.9 million. Huge overpay, if you ask me.
A little too rich for my blood, but
$3
good for
million
Dilly.
is fine.
Yeah.
Huge overpay. That's 25% overpay.
Great for him.
Another Dylan, another Sharks legend, Dylan DeMello signs for also 4 years, $3 million. Also a little rich.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't a big fan of DeMello.
DeMello 2.5, Dylan 3.
Yeah,
I'd be happy
agreed.
with that.
Agreed.
All right. The Knights re-sign Chandler Stevenson, 4 years, 2.75. The dude got waived, or he got traded?
Traded.
To the Knights?
Great. It was a great signing.
Too rich.
Guy's faster than Sin. He played great with that.
He played
in
great.
That system.
Too rich. Jesse Puljujarvi re-signs with the Oilers.
Pool party, baby.
He has not played in like a season and a half, but he re-signs with a different organization with Ken Holland. 2 years, 1.175. Again, super high reward, low risk, good signing.
Great signing.
Dominic Kubalik re-signs with the Blackhawks. 2 years, $3.7 million. Little rich.
We didn't even talk about any of the Blackhawks trades. We can.
Oh,
the
you're
Brandon
right.
Saad trade.
That happened after. So we'll get to that. We will get to that. Yes.
Okay.
We need to talk about that. All right. Those were kind of like the re-signings that happened before the trade, before the free agent frenzy started, and then this is the free agent frenzy. Okay.
Well, Dominic Kubalik, 3.8. You said
3.7. 2 years bridge deal. Too expensive for a
high.
bridge deal.
Too expensive for a bridge deal. Kind of high, and you're banking that he's going to score 30+ goals again, which rookies go through a sophomore slump. So I guess we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. All right. Wayne Simmons signs with the Leafs for 1 year, $1.5 million.
Great
Fine.
signing.
Fine.
I love Wayne Simmons. I know that he's really slowed down and he hasn't been playing that great, but just as a player,
Apparently he's healthy, which is good.
yeah, I've been a big fan of Wayne Simmons.
I think the Leafs should have signed Patrick Maroon, but we'll get to that in a second. Malcolm Subban, 2 years, $850, back with the Blackhawks. Should be their backup goalie. Fine. Bobby Ryan, who got bought out, 1 year, $1 million with the Red Wings. I guess he
Steal.
wants to play. Sure, great.
Absolute fucking steal.
The aforementioned Patrick Maroon re-signs for 2 years, $900K with the Lightning. I don't
Luke
understand.
Shen, too.
Yeah, and Luke Shen, 1 year, $800K. I don't understand why Patrick Maroon took so little. He's a back-to-back champion. He's still a good player.
He's not a good player.
He's better than $900K.
Maybe.
I think the tax situation and the fact that they would give him a 2-year deal helped.
Maybe that's, but everyone knows that he shit his pants.
All right. So first of all, if you're gonna talk about someone shitting your pants, you got to talk about Roberto Luongo, a hockey reference, who admitted that he was about to shit himself and had to leave.
Yes. Yes.
Was it Roberto Luongo? Yeah, it was, right? Yeah. All right. Radko Gudas goes to the Panthers. 3 years, $2.5 million. I fucking hate Radko Gudas, but that's actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't try and murder people. Tyler Mott to the Canucks. 2 years, 1.225. Don't care.
Wow.
John Merrill to the Red Wings. 1 year, $925K. He's probably their best defenseman.
Which is funny because he's a decent third pairing defenseman, if that.
Carter Verhaeghe goes from the Lightning to the Panthers. It's like a 2-hour drive. 1 year, $1 million. Fine.
He was scratched a lot.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He got replaced by Steven Stamkos, who played for 2 minutes and still had more of an impact.
Yep.
Henrik Lundqvist goes to the Capitals to be their backup behind Ilya Samsonov. Is that right? Yes. 1 year, $1.5 million. Good for him. If Samsonov was Swedish, it would be perfect because he'd be the mentor. I hope that the Caps win the cup for Lundqvist. Or the Caps don't do really well and they trade Lundqvist, one or the other.
Yep.
It'll be weird seeing Lundqvist wearing a different color jersey.
And it's like the opposite color. It's weird.
But he's going to make some badass fucking pads for the Capitals.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be awesome. Fucking like eagles on his pads. It's going to be great. All right. Kyle Turris, who we mentioned got bought out, goes to the Oilers. 2 years, $1.65 million to be their third line center behind, or maybe fourth line center? Behind McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins.
Nuge plays wing.
I mean, so does Draisaitl. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He'll be a center. Good deal for them. Cam Talbot replaces Devin Dubnyk. 3 year, $3.667.
Terrible fucking deal.
I don't understand. The dude's not good.
He was probably worse than Dubnyk.
It's insane. The Wild are just fucking up royally, and it's kind of funny to watch. Nathan Beaulieu, 2 year, 1.25 AAV. I don't have the team, which kind of defeats the purpose.
It's not the Jets.
Let me find it. God damn it. How do I not have the team? Who are you letting run this podcast?
You?
Yeah, that was a mistake.
The Sabres? No. Or did he re-sign with the Jets?
He may have re-signed with the Jets. I can't fucking spell his name, so I can't search.
Yeah. 2 years, 2.5 million with the Jets.
Okay.
Which is fine. He was good. There.
He was fine. All right, where was I? Nathan Beaulieu. All right, Braden Holtby takes Jacob Markstrom's spot on the Canucks for 2 years, $4.3 million AAV. I saw a lot of people being like, the Canucks are going to be so good with Braden Holtby. Braden Holtby's not going to play very much, and he's not good anymore. That is an overpayment.
I love it because it's a 2-year contract to let Thatcher Demko mature a little bit better.
Yeah.
He's just going to split the time until Demko is ready to take the starting role. I think it was a great signing, honestly.
Too much.
They paid him more. Paid him more so that they could shorten the term, and I'd be willing to take that.
Sure.
But poor Canucks got fucking reamed during this free agency, and I'm sure we'll get to those very shortly.
The Canucks got reamed. I actually don't know what you're talking about, but that's okay.
Well, Calgary signed about half their fucking roster.
Oh, well, sure. If that's what you're talking about, sure.
Yes.
Keith Kincaid.
And Bertanen's taken him to arbitration. But
now,
keep going.
I specifically mentioned I wouldn't talk about Keith Kincaid, but it is actually interesting. Keith Kincaid signs with the New York Rangers, 2 years AAV of $825, so they have a goalie they can expose in the expansion draft. Because one of their goalies is eligible, the other is not.
Yeah.
Keith mentions fuck Jack Johnson, who is the next player we're going to talk about. Jack Johnson signs for 1 year.
1.5?
Is it 1.5? Why would the Rangers do this? I don't understand. It's he's not good.
Because they're losing Tony DeAngelo.
No, DeAngelo's just taking him to arbitration. And Tony DeAngelo and Jack Johnson are very different players.
Are not, yeah, they don't.
Very, very, very different players. So I don't understand. That's a bad signing. And Jeff Gorton, my personal favorite GM, has fucked one up. All right, Anton Khudobin stays with the Dallas Stars. 3 years, $3.33 million. He apparently is not going home. He's staying in Dallas. See what I did there?
Wow.
It's pretty funny. Good for him.
Year too long, in my opinion. He's
Sure.
an old goalie.
Sure, that's fair. We'll see what happens
But
there.
they do need a backup that's of starter quality because Ben Bishop is
gets injured every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Aforementionedly bought out Alex Wenberg, goes to the Panthers. 1 year, 2.25. Good for the Panthers. He's good.
Yeah, hopefully he turns it around there.
Yeah, he was a little overpaid, which is why he got bought out, but yeah. All right, Mark Jankowski, who I really like, leaves the Flames to go to the Penguins. He's huge. He's good. 1 year, $700K. I think that's good for the Penguins. The Oilers re-signed Tyler Ennis, who was fitting in really well with Draisaitl and McDavid, which I guess is not hard. 1 year, $1 million. Another small forward. It's good.
Agreed.
Derek Grant.
Didn't he break his leg?
Something like that. No, McDavid.
Yeah.
I don't know. Derek Grant signs with the Ducks, who he had been with previously.
Okay.
3 year, $1.5 million exactly. He's like a fourth line center.
Yeah.
The Predators sign Mark Borowiecki to apparently make to make their decor as slow as possible. 2 years, $2 million AAV. Don't understand that one. Jack Johnson 1.15 is what I see, not 1.125, whatever. Anaheim Ducks also signed Kevin Shattenkirk, Stanley Cup champion. 3 year, $3.9 million AAV. Hopefully he
Good for him. Get his money.
Yeah, good for him. Get his money.
Predators. He's not gonna play the same in the Anaheim system versus the Tampa system. For
exactly.
Sure.
The Predators also signed Matt Benning to a 2 year, $1 million AAV.
I like Matt Benning.
I like Matt Benning as well.
That's an unfortunate non-QO for the Oilers.
Yeah. The Washington Capitals signed Justin Schultz, a former Pittsburgh Penguin, to a 2 year, $4 million AAV.
Wow, that's awful.
It's really high. So now they have Justin Schultz and Brendan Dillon as one of their D pairs.
That's their third line D pair.
Yeah, and each of them are making about $4 million. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense. That's weird. All right, the Calgary Flames sign Jacob Markstrom as their new starting goalie for a 6 year, $6 million AAV contract, which was the biggest of the day at the time. I like Jacob Markstrom. I think he's really good. I think it's a little long for a goalie who's like 30.
Yeah.
But they have not had a good goalie in 10 years since Mika Kiprusoff.
But you also have to remember that Markstrom was not good before he got to Vancouver. He jumped around a lot.
He was a prospect. He was a prospect. He didn't get traded for Lundqvist?
He was on a lot of teams. Like a lot of teams.
Didn't he get traded for Lundqvist?
Lundqvist?
Sorry. Oh my god. The dude, Luongo. Whew. I think he was part of the Luongo trade.
Yes, so he was in Florida, and then he went to Toronto for a year, went back to Florida, and then went to Vancouver.
Interesting.
So
yeah, he was in exchange for Lundqvist. Oh, and he served as Vancouver's backup behind Eddie Lack.
So he was a 9-10. He hovers around 9-10 save percentage. So he's good.
Good for him for getting his money.
Yeah, I think that contract's gonna bite him in the ass in 3 years.
You're probably right. The Panthers also pick up Vinny Hinostroza, who got bought out by I think he didn't get qualified by the the Arizona Coyotes. 1 year, $1 million. I really like Vinny Hinostroza. I think he's actually really good.
He's a good player.
That's a good signing by the Panthers.
Yeah.
The Maple Leafs signed former Calgary Flame TJ Brody to a 4-year, $5 million AAV contract to basically replace Tyson Barrie. Brody
I always
replaces
get those
Barrie.
two mixed up, which is kind of funny. That
Interesting.
they-
Yeah,
'cause so when
it's a
they
little rich.
announced Brody, I was like, oh, so they re-signed
Barrie, right?
who I thought was Tyson Barrie.
Sure.
Um,
Sure. And then Tyson Barrie actually went to the Oilers for a 1-year deal. So it's this weird Alberta thing.
So essentially, they swapped Benning with Tyson Barrie, the Oilers,
which
did.
is a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Huge upgrade. TJ Brody is good. I don't know if he's going to make that big of a difference in,
especially not playing with
Maple
Giordano.
Leafs. Sure. Well, but I mean,
who
he's
would
got
he-
Morgan
who would he
Riley,
play with?
probably.
Wow. Yeah, but that's two offensive defensemen.
Brody's not that. Whatever. Torrey Krug goes from the Bruins, where he was drafted, to the St. Louis Blues for a 7-year, $6.5 million AAV contract. I
Yep.
don't understand why the Bruins wouldn't have just signed him for that money. And I don't understand. I mean, they can't replace, or they can't sign Alex Pietrangelo now, so they just give up on Pietrangelo.
And they're probably losing Chara, who hasn't really been that great anyway. So it's like, who is there?
You don't think they'll re-sign Chara? I think they'll re-sign Chara.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think I like Torrey Krug. I don't think he's Alex Pietrangelo. I don't think 6.5 is too high. I think 7
Yeah, but
years is
now
a
they
little
have
long.
Justin Falk and Torrey Krug.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's kind of like the same player.
Yeah, good for Torrey Krug for getting his money, but I don't necessarily agree with that for the Blues. Do you remember in the year that the Blues won the Cup, Torrey Krug hitting someone, his helmet flying off, and then him skating?
That was last year.
Yeah, the year the Blues won the Cup.
Oh, the Blues won the Cup. You said
Yeah.
Boston.
Okay, the year Boston went to the Cup final. Sorry.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. So
yeah.
Robert Thomas tweeted the picture of him getting annihilated by Torrey Krug.
Destroyed.
And it said, "Did we just become best friends?"
It's fucking great.
Which is hilarious.
Fucking great. I'm gonna say it here again. No, I'm not, because it just escaped me. Never mind. No one cares about Thomas Nosek. He re-signed. The Calgary Flames sign former Vancouver Canuck Chris Tanev to a 4-year, $4.5 million AAV.
And this is what I was talking about, where the Flames signed the Canuck, like half of the Canucks roster, because they just lost their goaltender and their
number 2,
essentially
3
Mark
defenseman?
Edward Vlasic equivalent shutdown defenseman in Chris Tanev.
Yeah. I don't understand the Canucks. Also, the Canucks, once again, are playing with a lower cap than everyone else because they have to have that Luongo cap recapture, which...
You pretty much exchanged Tyler Myers in his contract for Chris Tanev, if you're in the Canucks situation.
Kind of, sure.
Which is awful.
The New Jersey Devils bought out Corey Schneider and then replaced him with another injury-prone goalie, Corey Crawford, swapping Corey's. 2-year, $3.9 million AAV contract for Corey Crawford. Good for him for getting another 2-year contract. I don't understand what the fuck the Devils are doing. Also,
they have Blackwood.
But that's too expensive for a backup then.
Yeah.
And
my AirPods are dying, so we gotta...
Your AirPods are dying. All right,
we gotta go faster.
Okay. Andre Burakovsky re-signs with the Avalanche, $4.9 million.
Timing.
Real expensive.
Expensive, but great timing.
Yeah. Thomas Greiss signs with the Red Wings, replaces what's his face?
Jimmy Howard.
2 years, $3.6 million AAV. Expensive.
I think Geiserman has done a great job this free agency, though.
I don't disagree. He should have weaponized his cap space a little more. Craig Smith signs with the Boston Bruins, 3-year, $3.1 million AAV.
Great contract if he's on.
Yeah, Troy
If he's
Stetcher,
off, he's invisible.
2-year, 1.7 to the Red Wings. Another good signing, real cheap.
Great signing.
Also from the Canucks.
Yep.
Tyson Barrie, $3.75 million to the Edmonton Oilers, 1 year, as we previously said. Mikko Koivu, you mentioned this, to the Blue Jackets. Again, 1.5, 1 year. Mike Smith re-signs in Edmonton. What the fuck? 1 year, $2 million. Does not make sense. Does not make sense.
Edmonton's goaltending situation is fucked.
Dallas
So fucked.
Stars, that fast team, signs Mark Pysyk, 1 year, $700K. Ugh.
But they did re-sign Radek Faksa
Yes.
for a great contract.
Which I
Super
will get
team
to in a
friendly.
second. Sabres, 2 year, $2.25 million. Cody Eakin. Ugh.
Ugliest man in hockey.
Wow. Jesper Fast does not stick
That
with the
boy is
Rangers.
ugly as sin.
Jesper Fast, 3 year, $2 million AAV to the Hurricanes. Great signing.
Fost was actually traded to the Sabres.
No.
He wasn't?
Jesper Fast. Rangers.
He wasn't?
No. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. You can look it up.
I'm pretty sure he was traded.
No. Valerie Nichushkin re-signs with Colorado. 2 year, $2.5 million. Great steal of a contract, I think.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Yeah. The New Jersey Devils get Andreas Janssen in exchange for Joey Anderson. This is a pure cap dump for the Maple Leafs to stay cap compliant. All right. The Colorado Avalanche trade Brandon Saad and a prospect.
No, they do not. They do not.
Sorry. The Blackhawks signed
Nikita
Brandon
Zadorov.
Saad and a prospect for Nikita Zadorov and a prospect. This is a fucking steal by the Avalanche. Nikita Zadorov is terrible and bad. By the way, Pierre Maguire thinks it was a great trade for the Blackhawks. Therefore, you know it was a terrible trade for the Blackhawks.
Brandon Saad is going to bring another level to that Colorado
It's great.
team.
It's great.
He's such a great front of the net garbage goal guy that I think they're kind of missing because they have a lot of flash, but they don't have a lot of
The
Grit
Blackhawks
by
then
60.
signed Zadorov to a $3.2 million contract for 1 year.
too
Oof.
much.
Zach Bogosian signs a 1 year, $1 million contract with the Maple Leafs. Just
Great deal.
won the Stanley Cup.
And he looked good.
TVR signs with the Capitals. 1 year, $800,000 contract. Finally, a good defenseman signing for the Capitals.
Good for them.
The Calgary Flames signed Louis Domingue to a $700,000 deal. What the fuck?
It's a two-way deal, though.
You are correct. Where's the Radek Faksa one? I know I'm
Kind
getting there. There it is.
Crazy that I remember that
Yeah.
stuff.
5 year, I agree. 5 year, $3.25 million for Faksa. Fucking great deal for the
amazing
the
deal.
Stars.
Honestly, that Jim Nill fucking hit that out of the park.
Agreed.
He's such a great player.
Yeah, I love Radek Faksa. Vladislav Nemestikov leaves the Avalanche and goes to the Red Wings. 2 year, $2 million AAV.
Yzerman's doing it again, dude.
Yeah.
That's a great signing.
The Devils signed Scott Wedgwood to a 2-way contract, so it's Wedgwood, Blackwood, and Crawford. Crawford Wood. Kyle Clifford signs with the St. Louis Blues just to make sure to make it harder to like the Blues.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's the type of player that the Blues are. Ugh. 2 year, $1 million AAV contract.
Apparently, the Maple Leafs offered him 3 years for more than $1 million, and he did not take it.
Yeah,
So,
it's
interesting.
weird. Keith says the Devils have a lot of wood. Well done, Keith. That was a layup. Danny O'Regan, Sharks legend, signs
Wow.
with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Wow.
All right. Then we got the big one, which happened a couple hours ago. The Buffalo Sabres signed Taylor Hall to a 1 year, $8 million contract.
Out of nowhere.
Out
This
of
is like
fucking
a
nowhere. Taylor
fucking
Hall was like,
Randy
I
Orton
want to win. I want to
RKO
win.
Out of nowhere.
I don't understand. So I was thinking about it more, and it makes a lot of sense. Taylor Hall is going to put up a bajillion points playing with Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel is fucking over the moon playing with Taylor Hall.
Can you imagine
They are
Skinner on his right wing?
They're going to be
and
so
then
fast.
Taylor Hall on his left wing?
It's insane. It's insane. It's going to be so good.
Or Middlestat on his right wing?
Middlestat's a center, and he's
Oh.
slow. And he's
Fuck.
slow. Not.
Gotcha.
It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Taylor Hall's going to put up 1,000 points. Taylor Hall also really likes the coach. He played
Ralph
for Ralph
Kruger.
Kruger for like a half a season. Taylor
Before
Hall
Kruger got fired
for no
by
fucking
the
reason.
Oilers, and replaced with Dallas Eakins, who everyone hated.
Taylor Hall, Masterton. Heard it here first.
Wow.
So it's gonna be great. He's gonna then sign a huge contract next season and then do shitty. Also, the Sabres don't have to win don't have to do anything. In fact, they should not make the playoffs, so then they can win the draft lottery because Taylor Hall's in their team. It's perfect for everyone involved.
1 year, $8 million contract there.
Yeah, good for him. I hope he does really well.
Good for the Sabres too. That you take that 10 times out of 10 for sure.
So yeah, they effectively replaced Wayne Simmons with Taylor Hall. Great trade. Yeah. The Toronto Maple Leafs then signed Jimmy Vesey to a 1 year, $900 contract. Apparently to see if he has anything left in the tank.
The Maple Leafs did?
The Maple Leafs. That just happened. Happened like an hour ago.
I thought he re-signed with Buffalo.
No, Maple Leafs. Wow. And then the only other news is Pietrangelo is apparently going to sign with. This has not happened yet. Sign with the Knights, but the Knights don't have the cap space to do this unless they trade either Nate Schmidt or Fleury or both.
Yep.
And I love Nate Schmidt. Pietrangelo is better than Nate Schmidt, but not by that much.
And
this
Nate
makes
Schmidt's
no fucking
a
sense.
lefty.
I don't know right and left. This makes no fucking sense. It's insanity to me. Congratulations. Please continue fucking up Vegas Golden Knights. It's great.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
gonna
it.
be in cap hell for
They
a
already
long
are.
time.
They're in cap hell already. They've been
I
around for
know.
3 fucking years.
But they're going to be in cap hell for a long
pathetic cap management. I didn't mention they signed Thomas Yurko to a $700K deal. Big fucking deal.
I would love to somehow poach Riley Smith after they're in cap hell. But
I would probably like that, even though I have a unjustified hatred of Riley Smith.
why? He's like the only.
I just
good,
said it
like,
was unjustified.
He's like
I
the only
admit-
like not dirty player.
I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like
Wow.
him. I've never
Riley
liked
Smith
him.
is great.
I
He's
don't know
so
why.
good.
He's really good. I want Nate Schmidt for the Sharks. I fucking love Nate Schmidt.
We don't need more D-man.
Vlasic for Nate Schmidt. Who says no?
Oh, I'm down for that.
Okay. I love Nate Schmidt. He's great.
But they're gonna sign Pietrangelo to a 7-year, $9 million deal.
I
and
don't
they're gonna get
understand.
Fucked.
I don't. Nate Schmidt has a $5 million cap hit. Not Lundqvist. Jesus. Fleury has a 700. It's crazy. Why would you do that? I understand you want Pietrangelo, but he's overrated and old, and wants
And he's
too
not
many
gonna be
years.
playing with Parenko.
Exactly, the real MVP on that team.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Please continue doing it. It's great. I love it. Trade everyone. The Knights suck. Fuck the Knights. All right. I think that's everything.
Great.
Did we get through everything?
I think so.
Yep. I think so. That was a lot.
That was.
Like a real lot. A bunch of stuff is probably going to happen the second we stop recording. Nate Schmidt's probably going to get traded to the Maple Leafs for nobody, and Kyle Dubas is going to, I don't know, do something amazing, or the Panthers were rumored, or I don't know. The bottom line is the Sharks killed it. Columbus fucked up royally and bought out a player they need to bought out and replace him with Mikko Koivu. The Sabres got Taylor Hall. The Canucks suck. The Flames overpaid for a bunch of people.
Yep.
And
Detroit did great.
Detroit did great. The Senators are going fucking insane and won't hit the cap floor and have Matt Murray now. And the Oilers still have Mike Smith as their goalie. It's weird. I don't understand. There's a bunch of weirdness going on. But, yeah. All right.
One question that randomly popped into my head. Do the Sharks go after Anthony Ciu after he was not qualified by the Oilers?
There are a couple people not qualified. Both start with A. Anthony Duclair and Andrea Athanasiou. I think the Sharks should go after one, if not both of them. They're both great players. I don't understand why I wouldn't get qualified, especially Anthony Duclair, who did not get qualified by the Senators.
I think Anthony Duclair is looking for a bigger contract, though. Anthony Ciu, I feel like you can still bank on a smaller contract.
Keith asked, "Why is Mark shaking his dongle at us?" I was gonna comment that you were shaking a dongle at me as well.
I don't know. I just grab whatever is on my desk.
You need to fidget. I was fidgeting with a baby Yoda that I 3D printed. So, yeah. I also have a Millennium Falcon. See?
I usually do. It's a hair tie.
Oh, I don't need one of those.
Or
yes.
USB cable that I unfold and fold.
That's
over again.
weird. So I don't understand why these players aren't more highly touted, like the Alexander Wenbergs, the people that get what?
And apparently, the Sharks inquired about Michael Grabner, who got bought out.
Yes, I did mention that. I think I mentioned that last week. Coyotes.
Arizona?
Phoenix, yeah.
Apparently, the Sharks inquired, but Grabner was waiting to see.
He's fast, just like Anthony Ciu, and they both have
And
some hands.
He's a great PKer,
though. Melker Karlsson also is not being re-signed.
Bye, bitch.
I love Melker Karlsson.
I've been wanting him gone for so long.
You are a nightmare. You are the worst. Yes, they should sign Anthony Ciu. Why not? They should sign Duclair. Why not? They should sign Grabner. Why not? I don't understand why these players just stand there. Like, it's weird. We talked about Marleau to the Sharks previously, Patrick. I won't bring that up again because Mark will roll his eyes at me. Also, Joe Thornton is apparently in Switzerland and still has his shirt off, was the joke that was circulating, and will probably re-sign with the Sharks again.
Yeah,
so
he'll come back.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to do the podcast next week. We might. I would like to do some not newsy stuff. But we'll see. We'll talk.
We'll figure it out. Maybe if not this week, maybe next week.
Yeah.
We'll just start talking about rosterbations for the Sharks. And
the season is scheduled to start on the 1st.
Training camp starts the 15th of November.
Oh, one more thing I want to mention. Ryan Donato. That pick, was it Ryan Donato?
Oh, yes. No.
No, it was Ryan Donato.
It was one of the draft picks.
It was Ryan Donato, the 2021 5th-round pick. Or third round pick.
No, Ryan Donato is the guy from the Wild that we got.
Yes. That trade, that draft pick, the 2021 3rd-round pick that we traded to the Wild, was the pick that the Sharks received from the Pittsburgh Penguins for Patrick Marleau.
Oh, for Patrick Marleau. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the kid who got drafted where his dad was on the Sharks and he like.
Oh no, he's wearing a Sharks hat. That's cool.
Sharks
but
jacket.
No. That's not what I was going for. No.
Okay.
So let me get this straight. You have a player that will only sign with you. You then sign him to a league minimum contract. You then get 2 wins out of it for no fucking reason. You then trade him for a 2021 3rd-round pick to the Penguins, and then you get a $1.5 million 24-year-old potential second-line player. It's fucking great. Good for you, Doug Wilson.
18 deep chest by Doug Wilson there.
Sign Patrick Marleau again.
Oh, God. Let's not start this again, please.
Sign him again.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dan Rosta says he's going to pick up the extremely young, perfect physical specimen who will be unsigned in November. Not sure who he's talking about there. Maybe he's talking about Marleau. Keith says he is available. Keith is not young or a perfect physical specimen, and he will stay unsigned in November.
That's correct.
Excuse me. All right. Send in your comments about how we are wrong to wrong@pucksanddeep.com, not pucksanddeepgame.com, pucksanddeep.com. Although you can send it to both. They both work. And we will talk to you maybe next week or maybe the week after once Alex Pietrangelo gets traded to the Sharks.
Wow. Okay, bye, friends.
Bye.